Good morning, guys, and welcome to our remote learning week 3. This week's focus is going to be on law school. Can you survive the bar exam? So what we're going to be looking at is really the Constitution itself. We're going to break it down article by article, bit by bit. Excuse me. And so we're going to look at each phase that our founding fathers created this document. It is a living document. We still use it today and is the foundation that our government is based upon. So let's take a look at today's lesson. If you have not done so already for attendance purposes, you are answering the question, in your opinion, why was the creation of the Constitution inevitable? So why do you think, again, this is an opinion question, why do you think that the Constitution would have been created regardless since the Articles of Confederation failed? So why do you think we needed a Constitution? You can pause this video, take about 2 minutes to answer that question, and please submit your answer for attendance purposes today. Okay, let's move on. So your objective for today is by the end of class, you will be able to identify the significance of the preamble to the U.S. Constitution. By the end of class, you'll be able to take notes on key vocabulary and on the preamble to the Constitution. So our essential question for this unit is, we are looking at the Constitution, a more perfect union. How has the Constitution created a more perfect union? What does that mean? What does a union mean? Is something really perfect? These are all questions that we need to be able to answer by the end of this unit, because this document, again, is something we use daily in our lives. We just don't realize it. We don't sit there and say, hey, guess what? I'm referencing the Constitution. I'm looking at Article 1, Section 4 of the Constitution, outlining the roles of the legislative branch or whatever. We don't sit there and do that, but our founding fathers set this up so it's so easy that basic citizens could understand the premise of what our government is based upon. So in order to understand this, we need to take a look at basically the father of the Constitution, which was James Madison. So what I've given you is a document. It says, just like this, while it's loading, it says Law School Day 1, or Law School Remote Learning Day 1. Looks just like this. And what I've given you is a quote, and it states, if men were angels, no government would be necessary. And this was written by James Madison. These are opinion-based questions. You could take a few minutes and in your own words, answer those questions. What is Madison saying? Why is a government necessary? Do you agree with what Madison said? So you can pause this video and answer these questions. Excellent. Now let's continue. James Madison, the father of the Constitution, believed that humans are imperfect and that power can easily corrupt those that govern. In 1789, Madison and other American leaders created a constitution that protects citizens' rights and ensures that power is not concentrated in the hands of a few. You will examine the guiding principles of the U.S. Constitution and analyze how it was created a more perfect union. Now, this area is going to be heavy on vocabulary, and I really want you to take some time to understand a lot of terms, because government can be really confusing if you don't have a good grasp on vocabulary. Now, what I've given you is a graphic organizer with these terms. So let's look at the graphic organizer. It's on the same document where you answered on James Madison. So here you have a list of terms: popular sovereignty, legislative branch, executive branch, judicial branch, judicial review, checks and balances, interstate commerce, federalism, majority rule, interest group, and domestic tranquility. What I want you to do is define these words in your own words. And I want you to come up with a sentence using each of these words. Now, on the Google slide, I provided you with a timer to help keep you on track so that you don't waste too much time, because again, we're only in here for a limited amount of time. At this time, you can pause this video, set the timer in the Google slide. It should take about 20 minutes to define the words, and then come back and resume the video. I will now pause right here, and you can go work on the vocabulary. All right, so now that you've finished the vocabulary, welcome back. You will now take a look at the reading or the introduction to the student text. I have already attached the student text to the Google assignment. It says the Constitution, a more perfect union. You can open that up. It is a PDF file, and you will read the student introduction. So you can now pause this video, take about 2-3 minutes, and read the introduction. Now, looking at the introduction, what does it mean? How has the Constitution created a more perfect union? Again, what does that word perfect mean? We don't really, is anything really perfect? Because if the Constitution was perfect, why did we have to fix it 27 times? And, are we still in need of fixing it today? Remember, this was written in 1787. Here it is, 2020. So you really have to wonder, is it really perfect? The very first part of the Constitution is the preamble. Now, our founding fathers wrote this for the purpose so that all U.S. citizens at the time would grasp and latch onto this concept that we were the United States. So let's take a look at the preamble. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. So let's take a quick look at a video about the preamble to the United States.
Do you know about the government? Can you tell me about the Constitution? Hey, learn about the USA. In 1787, I'm told our founding fathers did agree to write a list of principles for keeping people free. The USA was just starting out a brand new country, and so our people spelled it out, the things that we should be. And they put those principles down on paper and called it the Constitution. And it's been helping us run our country ever since then. The first part of the Constitution is called the preamble and tells what those founding fathers set out to do. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. 1787, I'm told our founding fathers all sat down and wrote a list of principles that's known the world around. The USA was just starting out a whole brand new country. And so our people spelled it out. They wanted a land of liberty. And the preamble goes like this. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility. Provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty. To ourselves and our posterity do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. For the United States of America.
So what you're going to do now is you're going to read section 1 of the student text and identify the preamble, because the preamble tells the goals of the government, and you are going to complete the reading notes. As you can see, I've given you a timer, but just to show you what you need to do is scroll down past this part. I've given you the preamble to the United States Constitution. Again, we the people of the United States, in order to perform a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. So what does all that mean? In section 1, they give you some good examples of how to break this down. But what I want you to do is to take these phrases from the preamble. I've already given you one, we the people. This means the Constitution bases its authority on the people. But I want you to do the same thing. I've given you excerpts from the Constitution. Give me the modern translation. Now, this should take you through the rest of today's class. Whatever you don't finish is homework. I will be checking to make sure this document is completed around 3 p.m. If at any time you have any questions, please refer to this screencast. Also, take a look at the Google slide or the text. If you're completely lost or not sure, then just shoot me a message. But in order to get credit for today's assignment, make sure this is turned in by 3 p.m. Also, we will be moving forward with a law school day 2, which will be on Thursday. There are a few of you in blocks 3 and 4 that have student teachers, so we will resume law school the following week. Again, if you have any questions, send me a message, and have a good day, everybody.